Hey, greetings to the body of the people. This is a man called Chris Dorsey of the Virginia Militia, and you're listening to the Militia Intelligence Report. We have got an unbelievable show for you tonight. We've got callers on the line already. Obviously, we have David and Clifford, the Militia Intelligence Analyst, David Dauterive and Clifford Eberhardt on the line. And it will hopefully, I think we're definitely bringing Adam Green on. He's waving right now on the Facebook Live. So I'm hoping to have Adam Green coming on very soon. Hey, Brandon Martinez is watching. Joel Whaley, is watching, and I'm glad that we've got Adam and Brandon watching, and hopefully we'll bring Adam on the line. He has the number. Anybody's welcome to call in anytime. The number's 425-292-44. Excuse me, I keep doing that all the time. 646-668-2151. That's 646-668-2151. And what I'm saying is, it's not that Adam Green is some sort of just like regular caller or something. He's definitely been invited on the show, and he's an excellent guest to have on, and I'm definitely interested in speaking to him very soon because we're going to talk about an issue. I did an interview with Adam on was it Monday night? I think it was either Monday or Tuesday night, but. Anyways, it was a great interview. It was very interesting. I was very happy to have done it, and very thankful to Adam Green for that. But I did find, and others tended to agree, that nearly everyone else that he has interviewed on his channel is an obvious controlled opposition agent, limited hangout, leading folks down wrong paths, going nowhere, and as listeners know, and anybody who can go back to our archives, which are everywhere you look, we've done well over 100 shows here and on Renegade Broadcasting and on YouTube before Renegade Broadcasting of something called the Militia Intelligence Report. I've done over 100 appearances on international television, made thousands of videos on more subjects than anybody else is covering. All of them, because they're all part of the overall picture, and thousands of videos seen by millions of people around the world on English language and foreign language broadcast around the world for people who can speak English and people who can't speak English and speak other languages. Our message has never changed. Our message is always the same. So we'll get right into it real quick. We're going to do this as quick as possible. Thanks for watching, Kevin Blackburn. Ted Palmer's watching. Thanks for watching. Jim Stallings is watching. Long time, Jim Stallings says, no doubt. We've been doing the same thing over and over again, like I said, for the past 15 years. So, folks, if they're not paying attention all the time, they haven't connected all the dots. John Konecki is watching. Thanks for watching, John. Please click like and please share. That's the key thing. The most important thing we do here is we generate views by sharing on lots of different Facebook groups. That's mostly how we get views. Then we get less views, on down the line from YouTube. Now that we've been starting to put this broadcast, or David has, on the Militia Intelligence Report 2 YouTube page. That's the fifth account associated with myself and the militia that has been taken down over the past year. So Richmond Peace, which was my first, was up from 2008 until the spring or early spring, late winter of 2017. And since then, we've had 4 different YouTube channels. And the first one had thousands of videos. So I don't know why all of a sudden, after thousands of videos, they start just taking down channel after channel after channel. And Adam says he's going to call in a minute. That's great. I'm very happy to hear Adam. I hope Adam is broadcasting this as well, or recording. Yeah, I presume he is. But I welcome that because this is important. We've got to talk about, folks, the only solution, which is what we talk about every single week, the lawful abolition of the government, the body of the people having control of all the weapons of war, all the military apparatus, and all the issuance of currency, all the valuable assets, which are not in our control. We go over details of this every week, how you don't even control what you think you own, which is your most valuable asset. Adam, hey, what's the 301 area code? Anyone? 301. I don't want to get sidetracked with the what's that? Oh, it's Ted. Okay. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. All right. Well, we've got Ted Palmer on the line, but we'll get to him maybe if he has a question for Adam Green. Whenever Adam wants to call in, feel free. And here, I just want to do as always and read the description. And the title of this show is called Lawfully Seizing Weapons of War and Valuable Property. And that means the currency, the ability to print money, the ability to value currency, and, you know, all the gold. Where is the gold? Where are the valuable assets? What, you know, seize this algorithmic computer program that they call the global economy, the SWIFT system, how the SWIFT system works. So we're going to get into some of the nitty-gritty of that just in the description. All opinions here are based in verified facts of high crimes and treason and the remedy set forward by our ancestors through the founding documents of America, based in the common law and King James version of the Bible, Holy Bible. Militiamen Chris Dorsey, David Dauterive, and Clifford Eberhardt are joined by No More News Adam Green to discuss the most important information of the week. The topics include limited hangout controlled opposition, the Petersburg Economic Forum, the Bank for International Settlements, the IMF, Bank of China. It's set. We'll add the Federal Reserve Bank, but we'll get to them later. We'll get to Jerome Powell later, the Jesuit, the Georgetown trained Jesuit later. Yukos, Gazprom, which is on the FTSE. It's traded in the English, in the UK stock market. Let's see. We got Adam Green on the line. I'm going to get to him in just a second. Let's see. The Bank for International Settlements, IMF. Yeah, People's Bank. Yukos, Gazprom, North Korea, Singapore, Abnormal Summit. North Korea, Singapore, Abnormal Summit. FBI Secret Society is the Kappa Alpha Order. Ka, the soul. The Chabad Lubavitch Mob, names and positions. Jared Kushner, Charles Kushner, Jeff Epstein, Harvey Weinstein, Steven Spielberg, David Geffen, Geffen Milchan the Mossad sexual blackmail operation. We exposed years ago Swiss boarding school boy Kim Jong-un, Gazprom, Total, Softbank, AIG, Rothschild privatization, brokering of Russian oil. They were in charge of brokering all the privatization deals with the most valuable privatization deals, Rothschild that is, when Russia's oil, which is the largest supply on, I think that might be the largest supply on, no, Venezuela. But it's one of the largest suppliers of oil on the planet. The skyrocketing price of gas, which is connected, caused by Russian and Saudi Jews, Exxon in Russia, fracking and tectonic war, the Jewish mob and Robert Mueller to cover up the Rothschild State of Israel directed attacks of 9/11. Now he is covering up the Jewish mob's control of the money supply and deadliest weapons of war, the weapons of war, and control over all governments and money supplies must always be under the control of the people. The state exists for the benefit of man, male and female. Those who unlawfully use a creation of man, which is government, to simulate the authority 101, the binary simulation that controls everything now. the authority of God are required by the Constitution for the USA to be arrested, convicted, and lawfully neutralized, according to Article 3, Section 3 of Constitution for the USA. All government, corporate, and military officials are guilty and are fugitives from justice. All those who do not follow the direction of the militia / law are assets of the criminal government. All right, I got that out quicker than normal, and it might have sounded rushed, but I'm not going to apologize. I did what I did. So let's get right to it. Let's get Adam Green on the line. I believe Adam is on the line, and you know, I just want to thank you for that excellent interview and the opportunity to reach possibly new audiences, but you know, just to reach maybe some tertiary audiences that have gotten distracted elsewhere, who may have been watching the work of the militia for, you know, while we've been doing this for the past 10 or 15 years. So I just want to welcome Adam Green to the show. He's got an excellent page, and most of his information is right on the money. It's called No More News. It catches a lot of stuff. It exposes a lot of the inside of 9/11, but that's also where a lot of confusion is put out. We're going to get to that soon with some of the well, I know it's verified, but others who are not in line with the truth might say something like, my accusations about the nature of guests on Adam Green's No More News being all controlled opposition, limited hangouts, and or former government officials who are still putting out the government line, and or Jews who are forwarding the so-called and leading the way and taking up all the oxygen in the so-called anti-Zionist movement, and or, I mean, agents who say that they're no longer agents of a foreign government, i.e. citizens of Israel who lived on a kibbutz. So I think that's a key place to start, because all these operations are run and controlled by the Jews. And I also wanted to get into the use of the word conspiracy theory, which I've heard dozens and dozens of times on network and cable news just over the past 2 days, the word conspiracy theory. So any of those things are a great topic. I want to, wish for everyone to listen to No More News, Adam Green, subscribe to his YouTube channel, follow him on Twitter, Adam Green, No More News, and it's spelled KNOW, like know or knowledge. And this is what we talk about here, nothing but knowledge. So No More News, Adam Green, No More News, Adam Green. So everybody who's really following along, if they didn't already know Adam Green, which I presume that they did, they have had the capacity to find all of his pages and look at his information before he's even said a word. So if there's any calls for Adam Green and they're irrelevant or off topic, we're just going to do what we always do. So Adam, I want to thank you. I'm not very good at necessarily what's the word I'm looking for, introductions, as we talked about before, or segues, but this is the segue. You have the floor. We operate this meeting under Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedure. Go for it, Adam.
Awesome.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adam.
Thank you so much, Chris. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming through loud and clear. And we might do like a sound check right now. If it's not coming through, David or Clifford will say something. If it's not coming through on Facebook Live, David or Clifford will say something, and it's definitely going to come through on Blog Talk.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. That was a great introduction. best one that I've ever had. And I appreciate you having me on to talk with you. I look forward to chatting again. I had a great time talking with you last week, and had a lot of great feedback in the comments about our talk from everybody, and you definitely gave me a lot of stuff to think about. And I've got to say that I agree with so much of what you say, and I love your spirited debate and everything. Oh, your rant that you sped through to get to me was an epic rant. I love the Chabad Lubavitch stuff. I've been doing a little research on that recently. Kushner had the yearbook photo from Stanford that he was president of Friends of Chabad, and also the Kushner family donates hundreds of thousands to Chabad. They visited the Rebbe's grave shortly before Trump's election, and the Rebbe is on. There's clips of him talking to Bibi Netanyahu about ushering in the Messiah and doing more to speed the coming of the Messiah. Same with Menachem Begin. So it's all these Chabad people that want to destroy the temple, or destroy the Dome of the Rock, rebuild the third temple, and rule the world from Jerusalem. And we talked a little bit about that in our talk. So, but yeah, also I just wanted to mention I did some research on my local congressman, Duncan Hunter, and he's one of the worst Zionists in Congress. So connected to all these military contractors, BAE, General Dynamics, General Atomics, the drone makers, they've all got all these deals, all these Talpiot deals, program deals with Israel and the IDF and the military. So I'm looking forward to exposing him for my local election here.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk to you about that. I saw you were talking about, and this is the second Duncan Hunter, the son, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the son. This is a multi-generational slave of the Jewish mob, and these guys are all compromised, in all the ways that we were mentioning during our opening. And of course, these military-industrial complex entities and more that were mentioned or were part of, really ultimately, because 8,200 of the Mossad has a backdoor into all the computer systems and all the top flight military systems that you're talking about, or at least new contracts, are controlled by computer systems. That, so we don't even have to talk about the 200 nuclear weapons of the Rothschild State of Israel. They control all the nuclear weapons because they're all based on, not only in kind of a factual way, in that they control all the governments that control the nuclear weapons. They can remotely control them from another location, wherever the 8,200 is operating out of, because they control the computer systems. I don't know that's kind of one of those dead end issues where you get to the end of the issue and you say the Jewish mob has a backdoor into every computer system around the world, including all the election systems, including all the weapon systems, including all the power grids. And that's when the Jewish mob starts bringing up whether this is conjecture or not. And then when it's verified it's not, they like to move on to talk about aliens, or the Illuminati, or some nonsense like that. So great.
That's funny that you mentioned that. It's funny that you mentioned that because Brendan O'Connell, the guy that talks about this Talpiot program a whole lot, he was on Rents the other night, and I don't listen to Rents all that much, but the interview was good. But Rents kept on bringing up if it's alien technology that's behind the Talpiot, and then he was talking about the Morgellons disease. So it's like he was trying to kind of inject some of the more unprovable, hard to convince and persuade people with information.
Yeah, I don't know about Rents. I think that's totally, limited control. But we don't even have to get that far, because we verify in every way this is war against the people, which is more than enough to lawfully abolish the government. One of these subjects that we talk about, and they're all connected, but a lot of people like to compartmentalize, so I like to go down the path that others go down, just to walk in their shoes for a while, just to see how the average, moron, and I'm not a genius, I'm just not that stupid. But any one of these things is enough to abolish the government. So even when you got these guys out there exposing exactly what's going on, that's only half of it. And they don't even expose it in a way to really show you what is going on. Yeah, so what? Israel has a backdoor into all the computer systems. Okay, what is that? It's not just one operation that's called Talpiot. It's part of a larger operation. So it's all these controlled, limited hangouts that go like, oh, it's this. And you know what? I've been doing this for a long time. And, you know, it's only recently that I've heard of both Brendan O'Connell and Talpiot. And, you know, that's all I can say is, Adam, you've been more of a straight shooter than 99.9% of the individuals that I deal with. And, you know, I might not always say it, but when somebody BS's me, like, I'm taking screenshots and I'm remembering it. So, like, I can always see it. I can always see it. So there we have it. I mean, yeah, okay, Talpiot. That's fine. We'll say that word a couple more times. But what is it?
No, I just want to say, if you let me on, Talpiot is just one minor piece of the puzzle of this New World Order plan. And it's all over the news about Israel's tech dominance and how they're in charge of all the cybersecurity and how they're experimenting with cryptocurrencies. I did an interview not an interview, but a video on my channel called "The Zionist Plan to Take Over the World."
Yeah, good video.
I go through like 30 different tabs, and I really show how it's all biblical prophecy. It's essentially they're just trying to rule the world from Jerusalem, from the new temple. So I think that's their end game. And as far as like things on the limited hangout issue, it's like not everybody is interested in the same thing. So a lot of us are all kind of have overlapping stuff that we're into. You know, like we agree with a lot of stuff, and I appreciate you saying that I'm a straight shooter. But what it seems to me is that what you're really saying is that anybody that doesn't talk about that we need to have the militia take back the government, anybody that's not saying that and pushing that as the most important thing, that they're limited hangouts?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because it's the only solution to all the problems. And it's written into law.
Yeah.
And it's the easiest path. And there are lots more reasons. What the militia is, according to the law, is the body of the people trained to arms. What is that? According to the author of that statement, which is George Mason. What is the militia? It's the entire body of the people with the exception of certain government officials. So anybody who doesn't agree that the people should be in control of the currency, the public airwaves, the weapons of war, and etc. Not only are they disagreeing with the law, they are showing themselves to only set themselves up for slavery, because you either control the weapons of war and the currency, or you're a slave. And when you have no say in how the weapons of war are created and used, and you have no say in how your money is valued, and that it always decreases in value, one would have to be a complete idiot or a willing slave to go along with that system. And it's obvious and verified. We talk about it every week, and we've already everything that we've talked about on this show so far is about the government and the corporations, the institutions that control them, the corporations, banks, military operations, apparatus, intelligence operations, etc. They're all engaged in war against the people. So, of course that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Well, I got to tell you, the general consensus in the comments that I saw on our interview, well, most of the people were all agreeing with you, and that they understand that our country has been taken and corrupted, and that you're simply just pointing out what it says in the Constitution, what the founding fathers wrote down in the law on how we're supposed to take the country back. I mentioned in the interview the Thomas Jefferson quote about the revolution every generation or so. But also just the takeaway I got from talking to the Talpiot Talk guys about our interview is that they basically agree with the notion that the people having some type of revolution might be the only way to take the country back.
Okay, well, let's talk about messaging, language, and actual use of words. I like the word revolution in association with the American Revolution and no other revolution. So a revolution basically brings something back to its original point. The original point being English common law, and the original point being, for our culture and our society, the King James Bible. A revolution, coming back to it. I prefer to use the terminology lawfully seize and restore the rule of law, restore constitutional rule of law. And I mean, I'll use this opportunity because when I wrote the book, the Militia Handbook, I wrote it very carefully. I could have written, hundreds of pages. Honestly, I waste a lot of what I write in descriptions for radio shows and appearances on television, and so I don't care how many books I sell. I care that the information gets in the hands of as many of the right people as possible. So we were talking about how this is about constitutional restoration at the very least, because we're told, and we know, and the only thing lawful about, the only reason for the existence of the United States government is the Constitution for the United States. That's the law of the land. That's the highest law of the land. We're told. But my book points out the Constitution has been thrown aside. That the current government doesn't operate in any way. Everything that they do is against the Constitution. And I hear all this nonsense about, oh, this guy was these are all Freemasons, and this. All I have to say to that is, I've made my position about current modern day Freemasonry and even the founding of Freemasonry very clear about exactly what it is, and it culls ancient mystery knowledge that we go over every week. A lot of stuff I'm not going to, spoil by calling it Masonic, because it's just ancient mystery knowledge based on ancient Egyptian mystery schools, which is what the basis of the Bible is, which is what and that's based on things older than that. So we go through this every week we go through this. But in any event, yeah.
I'll take it a step further.
Yeah.
I'll just say, a government by the people, for the people. What does that mean? That means the people can accomplish anything a so-called government worker does, or a police officer, or any. I mean, again, some people will tell you government means mind control. Okay, I'll control my own mind.
Good point.
I'll control my own destiny, and I'll defend myself.
Absolutely. Great point. Great point. Government means mind control. I'm not anti-government. I'm anti somebody governmenting my mind. So I control my own mind. So it's not something where it's like, government, I hate government, I'm against all government. Hey, these criminals want to tell me I'm anti-government. They're anti-government and pro-mob, because they operate under mob rules, and that's the point I was going to get to. We're not operating, the government is not operating under Constitution for the United States of America. It's operating under something called COG, Continuity of Government, or Continuity of Operations, which is a FEMA and Department of Homeland Security directive, presidential directive. So that's what we're operating under. I get into all the details in my book. So Joe Muni says Freemasonry is just like a frat. Yeah, I'm not a member of any fraternity, but I am a member of a military order, as we mentioned before, and that's how I know all this stuff. And you know, lots of if they want to talk about a secret society that started the FBI, it was definitely the Kappa Alpha Order. Melvin Purvis, Hugh Dorsey, who else? Oh, J. Edgar Hoover. I mean, George Patton, George Marshall, and when George Patton exposed that the Jews were behind all wars and that they concocted the Second World War, and that in fact the Americans had fought against the only honorable people on the European continent anymore who hadn't been infiltrated by the Jews, but they had. Little did Patton know, or I guess he knew more than he was saying, but we know that the Bank for International Settlements, and we know that all the full Jews and Mishlings that served in the Nazi army. So again, don't give us this Nazi stuff just because we know that the Jews control everything. Don't call us Nazis, because they control the National Socialists too. They finance them too through the Bank for International Settlements, as we always talk about, which they're meeting with the IMF and all the other major banks and financial apparatus around the world. Where are they meeting now? In St. Petersburg, Russia. That's where they're meeting today. That's where the Bank for International Settlements heads and Christine Lagarde, head of the IMF, that's where they're meeting today. Today. So, yeah, Hitler was a hoax. I mean, everything. You don't get to that position until that happens. So, and creator of the Rothschild State of Israel. Jewish Palestine, the #1 client state of Jewish Palestine was National Socialist Germany. It's a fact. It's a fact. They're bank records. That's how you find out anything. At first, you look for the bank records, because everybody's got to get paid, baby. Everybody needs that mono eye. So Adam, and I want to get to Clifford Eberhardt here in just a second, but I want to go back to Adam real quick and say, Adam, thoughts about this, about how most of what these folks talk about is completely inconsequential, and when people are patted on the back for something that everybody should know, and others, they may even be, and I'll say are, stealing information from others, passing it off as their own, and then other folks come around and say, oh, have you heard of this guy? He sounds a lot like you. And I say, nobody sounds like me until they're calling for the lawful abolition of this government and give the reasons why over and over again. It's very simple. So, Adam, any thoughts? We're about half an hour into the show. We got a lot more show to go. Any thoughts that are coming to your mind at this point?
Yeah, I was taking notes as you were going. So it sounds like you want to have not a revolution, but a counter-revolution, or just a restoration. And as far as like saying that people are limited hangouts or controlled opposition, or they're inconsequential, all this stuff we cover is a huge can of worms, and there's lots of offshoots and rabbit holes with people that have different interests can go down. And there's not only one way to skin a cat. I agree with you that we're probably too far gone, that we won't be able to change the system by voting, and they'll crush any kind of real grassroots movement, and there's not going to be a savior to come from the top. On the Masonic thing, I've been doing research for videos about this Bible prophecy stuff, and I realized that Hagee, the big Zionist televangelist, his church is called the Cornerstone Church.
Sure.
So that's significant to the Masons, and
of course the Bible too. Because hold on, let's get into that real quick, because that's everything that's or nearly everything that's significant in Masonry is also, now I'm going to say everything. Everything that's significant in Masonry is significant in the Bible.
Didn't Pike say that Freemasonry was based off of the Kabbalah?
I don't believe so. But, I mean, he would know better than I. He would know better than I because he wrote Morals and Dogma. So let's break down the words Kabbalah. We already talked about the Kappa Alpha Order, which is different from the Kappa Alpha Society. It's different. But one is legitimate and one is illegitimate, and the Kappa Alpha Order is the one that's legitimate, and the Kappa Alpha Society is the one that's illegitimate. And I'll tell you that half the members of the Kappa Alpha Order that I know of are I mean, I don't have anything nice to say about them. Half of them I do have nice things to say. So there's always factions and everything. So let's break down the word Ka, K-A-B-A, the Ka and the Ba. You know about the Ka and the Ba, right, Adam?
No, I may have heard of it, but not off the top of my head, no.
Well, the Ka and the Ba are basically the two elements of the soul and the spiritual being of the individual, the man. In ancient Egyptian, mystery religions, the Ka and the Ba. Look it up, folks. Somebody else give me a better definition, but basically this is what's going on. And La, Allah, Kabbalah, Allah. Right, so where's the word Allah come from? What is the, and it's good we brought this up because we're going to get into Black Cube. We're going to get into the monolith of the movie 2001, Stanley Kubrick, and the Kaaba was when the Muslims go to Hajj in Mecca. What is that they're circling? That's like the monolith. That's the Kaaba, right? Am I right? And who do they worship there? Allah. Okay, so there you go. I mean, that's what I think of. And what do they say the Kabbalah is? The written down. Now we can get into what's blasphemy under the law. So it used to be that folks would say that writing anything down that was part of the law was blasphemy. And that's why they had these oral traditions called the Kabbalah, which they wrote down, which then what did it become then? Did it become an oral tradition? I mean, who wrote it down? For what purpose? How did they tweak it? I don't know, but they say all law is auricular. All law is oral. So what I say is much more important than what I write down. Although I will write something down, but all these things are connected. So yeah, obviously the Kabbalah is connected with everything biblical, and it comes a lot from these ancient Levantine mystery religions. So maybe we got a little too far off there, but I mean, did that give other folks another kind of comprehension as to, what is it? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Kaaba, Ka and Ba. See? Ka and Ba.
The quote from Morals and Dogma by Albert Pike is all Masonic associations owe it to Kabbalah, their secrets and symbols.
Okay. Yeah.
Right, and that's from the Freemasonry.bcy.
Hey, I got no problem with that, man. Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
And Kushner and Ivanka have been seen with the Kabbalah red bracelet and also visiting Kabbalah gurus and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, again, I read the Bible and I go to a Christian church and I see two different things that they don't even, in some cases read out of the same Bible that I use. So there you go. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's I study all ancient mysteries. I don't discount anything. and I study the Kabbalah too, and I understand where the word Kabbalah comes from. Let's see. Soul, the Ka, the Ba, and the Ak. Let's see. The Ba and the Ka. Hey, we'll just go to this because like I like to keep it on like kind of a 8th grade level for some of the more important things. So this is what they say for the Ba and the Ka for kids. The ancient Egyptian people lived their lives with 2 main concerns: a happy life here and being able to enter the afterlife. They spent a lot of time worshiping their gods and goddesses and asking them for help, blah, blah, blah. They believed even though a person might die, their soul would survive. I believe that as well. They gave the soul 2 different names, the Ka and the Ba. Okay, the Ka part of the soul was what we might call life force of the person. The ancient Egyptians thought that when someone died, the Ka or the life force left the body and could move around. They believed the Ka could drink and eat, but was stuck in the tomb well, okay, I don't necessarily agree that that's what they thought. But anyways, that gives you the elementary definition of Ka and Ba and where the words Kabbalah comes from. So, yeah. Hey, Reddit Daniel, hold on, I gotta read this out. Reddit Daniel says, thank you for your support. Please continue to fight VSB corruption. That's Virginia State Bar corruption. I must say, I've never been a member of that criminal outfit, so I've always been fighting it, and I urge you to support me. Please support me. And anyone else can support me. Reddit Daniel, I know you have a lot of money, so please send a donation. RVA, the number 4peace@gmail.com. I will give you a call sometime soon, Retta. I have called you in the past, and we had an interesting conversation, but I don't think we fight corruption in the same way. Michael Howell is watching, but again, I will give you the opportunity to follow behind us and remedy the associations with that criminal outfit you used to pay membership dues to. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Adam, and I want to get to Clifford, so we bring Clifford in real quick.
You know, it's funny, I got to share. I've been looking for the clip all over with the Jewish real estate banker talking about how Trump owed $4 billion, the video, and I found it eventually by you sending it to me.
Right.
On the Johnny Gat video, who financed Donald Trump.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You know, a lot of different folks, they mirrored that video. I mean, I don't even think it was one of my better videos, but it proved a point. Go ahead.
Yeah, the point that it's crazy that all these Alex Jones and controlled opposition MAGA people are like suppressing this information right here. The Wilbur Ross Rothschild connection, the banks, all the Rothschild funding, bailing out Trump when he was billions of dollars personally liable for.
Yeah. I mean.
Also today in the news, there was a Harris that it says the countless Israeli connections to Mueller's probe of Trump in Russia. So it's not Russian collusion, it's Israeli collusion. And Israel and Russia, I believe, are working together. I mean, Bibi and Netanyahu were just meeting with the other day, and now apparently the S-300 missile protection isn't going to Syria anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just a thought.
Go.
It's just a thought, and I know it's probably a small one, but sometimes I wonder if every one of these colluders are actually. I mean, we hear of dual Israeli citizens. Sometimes I wonder about if some of these people have like triple citizenship.
Yeah,
they
definitely do.
So like they can. Yeah, they all just freely travel to Russia, Israel, China. You know, where does it end?
Right, because Wilbur Ross is in China now. Steve Mnuchin was in China last week. I mean, I don't even like to get, like, and Putin met with Netanyahu, Netanyahu in Moscow, and they're having celebrating their Jewish heritage, their Jewish leaders. Did I mention Victor Vekselberg today? I don't think I mentioned Victor Vekselberg, but I did want to mention Vekselberg again with this Chabad Lubavitch, again with the Beryl Lazar stuff, again over and over and over again. And I want to talk about when David brought up, I wish to talk about, I should say, when David brought up, are they triple citizens? I like to put it in that they're like Henry Kissinger or Heinz Kissinger. He was a Stasi agent of the Stasi. He was an agent of West German intelligence. He was an agent of the Central Intelligence Agency and the NSA and the KGB. And who else? And the Mossad. And all others, because it all stems from that point we were saying over and over again. These intelligence agencies, they're not the intelligence agencies of individual sovereign nations. They're intelligence agencies for the international banking cartel, for the economy of their system, for the reinsurance companies like AIG and like Anbang Insurance. And for the accounting firms like Ernst & Young, and for the international outfits like the Bank for International Settlements and the IMF. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that simple. And I know we got Ted Palmer on the line, and but now I want to hear from Clifford, because I want to get into what Clifford has to think about things, because I want to get into some gematria, and I want to also read y'all what I think is the best definition and explanation of gematria from the beginning. And it's using a lot of ancient Egyptian mystery school. Some people can attach the Kabbalah to that, but we've already broken down what the Kabalah is. So we're just going to use terms that aren't loaded and beaten down. Like the swastika is beaten down because they threw it under the bus, but it was an ancient, powerful symbol in all cultures. So they take this powerful symbol away and they occult it for use for only themselves. But Cliff, thanks a lot as always. I want to just get your thoughts, kind of a free flow form of what you think are the most essential topics that we should discuss right now.
I mean, is really like what is anyone gonna do? I mean that's the question that should be all these limited hangouts. If I know we started like mentioning that, I don't know if we want to go more into that and expose again what the main red flags are with all these other so-called activists. The biggest one being none of the government, and that is upholding law. That's the solution when any crime is being committed, when war is being waged against you, is to fight back against your enemies and with the weapons at your disposal, and our weapon is the law.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to put it. This is about upholding the law. This is about fighting back in a war against you. This is we're back reconnected, and it looks like, as usual, we lost about 2/3 of our viewers during this time when we lost the Facebook feed. So we are back now on Facebook Live. Can we get a verification that we are back live now? Anyone on the line?
5 people watching. Oh, it just cut. Yeah,
It's back. Okay, cool. Excellent. So yes, as I said, we went from 24 people watching to 5 people watching. But anyway, it'll get back up again. Hey David, have we shared it to the what is about 140 or so Facebook groups? Have we shared it to them?
Yeah, we did. It took me a while, but I think I shared it to all of them. If I didn't, I know I left out just a few, but a lot of people know that you're broadcasting right now. And if they don't know about it, then they don't want to know about it.
That's true. That's true. We make it as easy as possible. We go through jumping through all the hoops to make sure that folks are out there. Hey, let's see here. I want to give a shout out to Michael Dick. Thanks for the for everything you do for the militia, and also thanks for the donation today. Folks can donate to the militia at RVA, the number 4piece at gmail.com. I appreciate all the support, and there are a number of folks who support us. But just to give you an idea, we don't even come close to making the kind of money that we would need to make to really do even keep the lights on in here. But hey, we appreciate everything. So I want to thank Michael Dick yet again. Let's see. Just real quick, going down the line.
And also,
Yeah, go for it, David.
It's another alternative to donating, which Chris always appreciates donations, is he wrote a book on these various subjects.
Right.
And in a few minutes, I'm going to put a description on how you can get the copy of the Militia Handbook. So go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, hey, thanks, David. And again, I mean, I don't even like saying that. I apologize for saying the words "and again," but however, I shall go on by saying it's all in there. Everything, the problem and the solution and the beating around the bush and getting into all these other things, or these individuals who act out events, staged events that actually happen to real people in real life, or that operate as these controlled opposition limited hangouts. I don't know what to say except for this. Christopher Bolin is probably the most well-known and well-paid individual regarding the farthest limited hangout about 9/11. And he doesn't go the whole way. But what does he say? Ends the wars? War is the nature of man. There have never been an end to the wars. There's been war ever since man was placed on the planet. So when you have these so-called peace groups, and I used to be, when I first got politically active, I was anti-war. That was one of my things. Anti-war. Until I realized, wait a second, that's what these Jewish communists have been using for years. For years. They say, oh no, everybody's got to turn in their weapons. We'll keep ours, but you turn yours in because peace, man. Give me a break. And I never lived on a kibbutz. Going back generations and generations, I don't, no Jews in my family. None. Actually, I'll show you. But the others, they can't say that. And their agenda, the agenda that they're forwarding, is so obviously going to solve nothing, except for maybe a few problems they have of not having enough money. So, as we say, I mean, we can go through it one by one. I don't want to limit it to just folks interviewed by Adam Green on No More News, because it's everywhere. I'm telling you, at 99.9% of the folks out there that you're watching on YouTube, or you think has good analysis or anything like that, they are assets of the government. And they are assets of the government, and here's how I can prove it. They are not forwarding the true only solution and the only way to enforce the law. It's not even just the only solution to our government problems. It's the only way to enforce the law. Okay, Cliff, maybe you can explain the difference between it's the only solution to our problems. I mean, or maybe differentiate, or maybe even say it's the same thing. The only way to solve your problem is to enforce the law. There has to be a remedy to every situation. The only remedy for any control of any government to keep it from being a tyranny is for the people to control the weapons of war and the issuance of currency and all other valuable assets. Is there anything else that matters? Is this a foreign concept? Is this something somebody older than 12 years old couldn't comprehend? Cliff, I put it to you.
You're not going to let me respond to any of that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. Adam, I put it to you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll try to take it point by point. So the part about, you mentioned Bolin, and you said he doesn't take it all the way. Are you specifically referring to he doesn't,
No.
His solution isn't the militia? Is that what you mean by not going all the way? Or does he actually have, like, some disinfo or something wrong that he says about 9/11?
Well, I would say he doesn't go far enough he doesn't go anywhere close to any sort of solution to all these problems. And I wonder about his connections with German intelligence, and I wonder if he was even targeted by the government, or whether this was, a way for him to get in touch with German intelligence. Do you know how he got in touch with German intelligence? They haven't gotten in touch with me, but also German intelligence is run by this Jewish...
That's the first I've heard of that. I haven't heard anything about German intelligence. What's your basis for saying that?
Doesn't he always say that when he allegedly escaped the United States?
So, Adam, so you can look at some of Christopher Boland's talks. He mentions that after being targeted by the government allegedly, and he had to flee, and he ended up going to Germany and getting in contact with German intelligence. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's interesting.
Also, Boland's slogan is 9/11 truth ends the war, and I see what you're saying about how war is kind of human nature, but what he's really saying is the war on terror is because of 9/11, and it's because of the Zionist agenda to take over the Middle East and then the world. I think that's really what he means by that, and I think you agree with that premise, right?
I agree that the pretext for these wars that were planned were directed by the government, directed mostly by the Israeli government, and directed on top of that by the Jewish mobsters that control AIG, the World Bank, the Bank for International Settlements, the New York Stock Exchange, and every other lever of power around the world. So
Adam, think of it this way. Like, 9/11 was an act of war, but it wasn't carried out by this fictional entity called Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. It was carried out by the mob that Chris just finished naming. So, in actuality, 9/11 truth doesn't end the war. It starts the right war. That would be actually what happens. It starts the war of the American people against the Zionist mob that is at war against us, that includes all
9/11 truth starts the right war.
Yeah, that's precisely.
So here, and
also, you mentioned that war is human nature, and I don't disagree with that is the case. So, but that's also the mindset of, like, the military-industrial complex. So, if that's the case that war is nature, if we want to disarm, China and other countries are going to arm up and then eventually oppress us. So, do you think that as Americans we should build up a super, super strong military and fund all of our tax dollars?
Hold on. Well, I mean, my response to that is simple. The militaries of the world work in concert. Much of what we do on this show is we verify, and I'm having issues, technical issues yet again. We verify the coordination of the militaries of China, Russia, and the United States, and Israel, and all the others. So that's my response to that. There's no separation between the financial source that pays for all the militaries of the world and, in fact, the militaries of so-called separate nations themselves.
Yeah. The economies of the world are dependent on war. If the war's ended, millions and millions of
Now,
people
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about everything about all the economies are interconnected, and they're connected by certain points. And those points are the IMF, the Bank for International Settlements, and the SWIFT system, which transfers trillions of dollars between all the governments of the world every day. All right, and hey, if I disconnect from the Blog Talk feed, I shall be back ASAP. I spoke too soon. I'm having real issues with. What's that?
I got some more to say on the Berlin topic too.
How about go ahead. Please take it. How about the kibbutz?
I want to get to that, but first, I'm just about finished reading Michael Collins Piper's book, The Judas Ghost, The Enemy Within, and so I'm really waking up to the level of controlled opposition and the level of subversion by the ADL and FBI, CIA, Mossad, other groups, with double agents and triple agents like you guys were mentioning. But, our movements, our opposition movements are always controlled, they're always infiltrated. So everybody, and we all know that, so everybody's paranoid and suspicious of everybody else, so we should be. That's a good thing. But that doesn't mean that everybody that isn't out there vocally saying we need to surround the police, surround buildings. Not everybody has the courage to do that. You said so yourself, going out and doing the activism that you do puts your life in danger. It's scary, and some other people are just trying to
make money. I know. Yeah, they're out to make money. I know they're out to make money. Right. And to lead people down the wrong track. Hey, I'd like to just address this guy out there, Jake Lee. Please come and say anything that you're writing down behind your keyboard. Please come say that to me. Please do it. Please try. And so I mean, we can get into the particulars about even the bad information like Ryan Dawson puts out, where and I'd just like to say real quick about Ryan Dawson or Corbett from the Corbett Report. If you're outside of the United States, living in Japan, for example, man, don't stop your commenting about American politics because you don't really have a vested interest in it, and stick to dressing up like superhero characters and going to anime conventions. So that's my message. I mean, come on. Obviously, everybody is aware of that, and any associate like John Friend of the Bundys or the Bundy Militia or Pete Sanchilli and the so-called Malheur Militia and that staged government event by this criminal offshoot of the Mormon Church. Again, we've got it back. Now we lose, man, every single time. So we're back on Facebook Live. I mean, it's verifiable and obvious. So what about the element of folks like James Perloff and that guy Jeremy Roth Kushel, who are Jews themselves? Or Brother Nathaniel. I mean, I cannot stand getting associated with all these guys. Who's that jazz musician? I don't know. But all these guys. Yeah. What's with that? How do the Jews get to be in control of everything, including the anti-Jewish movement? I mean, is everybody out there just that dense that they don't see this and go, hey, wait a second, what? How come we can't get anywhere? How come we are still worshiping these hacks, even when we think that we know their tricks? I mean, it's a little ridiculous, wouldn't you think?
Well, I don't worship Brother Nathaniel or Jeremy Rothschild, but Brother Nathaniel apparently converted to Catholicism or Christian, and Jeremy just seems like an informed guy that's passionate and outspoken. You know, not every Jew goes along with 9/11 and all the Zionists and stuff. So, are you saying that there's no good Jews out there, and we shouldn't at least give them a voice at the table to hear them out in our movement?
Yes.
So you want no Jews at all in the...
But again, you know, you say our movement. Who and like I'm not really a part of any movement. We've made very clear.
You said that everybody compared you to them. You said everybody compared you to them.
I didn't say everybody did. I said I don't like to be compared. I don't like to be compared to them. But what I'm saying is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is probably a good idea to, you know, not have any of the enemy involved in the operation, especially when they're not forwarding anything. They don't have the motivation to expose this for what it really is. I mean, that's...
Well, I think that Jeremy Rothschild and Brother Nathaniel have exposed a lot of things.
You could have learned it elsewhere. Is misinformation. I mean,
He's still out here saying a plane hit the Pentagon. Let's just get on that.
yeah, plane hit the Pentagon. We'll start with that.
The Pentagon?
What?
That's your biggest problem with him is the Pentagon?
No, that's not even close to our whole problem with him. That's not even close to it.
What? I mean, that's the most obvious.
That's. I mean,
For me is that piece of disinformation.
yeah, that's and the fact that he is very combative towards those who disagree with him, especially when he throws out something as absurd as a plane hit the Pentagon.
Yeah, I noticed last week he was saying on Twitter that Bolin was a Jew hater, and I responded to that and said, hey, why are you saying stuff like that? They talk about like 90%, 85% of the same stuff. Why would you want to associate somebody who's like right next to you, basically pushing the same thing, and it's like saying we're all Jew haters when you throw out something like that? Are you saying that he kind of wants to start fights and cause infighting in the movement, and that's why you think he's control opposition?
Well, I would say using a term like Jew hater, like that's a legitimate term, is the biggest problem I have with that. And the fact that Bolin obviously is not a Jew hater because he lived on a kibbutz surrounded by nothing but Jews, and he married a Jew. So again, that's some pretty intricate, you know, sleight of hand that's carried out there, but that we see it. Jew hater, that's not a legitimate term for me. People hate Jews, and there's a reason for that. I mean, do you think there's not a reason for that?
I would say to hate all Jews is too much of a generalization, because some Jews, you know, there's always exceptions to the rule, and plus that just comes off as racist and won't persuade anybody.
Hey, who invented the word racist? Who invented the word racist?
I'm not exactly sure what
Leon Trotsky. Not his real name. Okay, so again, we're falling into their trap, into their language, into their messaging.
I just don't want to give my critics a reason to say that I'm hateful. I try my best being hateful, not do over.
What does hateful mean? What is define hateful? Hey, could you please define hateful though?
monitoring the hate speech all over social media, so that's the only definition that matters really is theirs when it comes to online. But I would say, like, the comments we see online about, oh, we need to turn on the ovens or hateful, violent calls to action like that.
Okay, so well, let's stop there and analyze that. Let's analyze that, because we know that the Jews were not mass exterminated in the concentration camps, correct? We know that, right?
Yes, that's a very contended issue that is taboo, and you get thrown in jail for it. And
I'm talking about science. I'm talking about the number 6 million is a complete lie, and it doesn't have anything to do about I'm scared that somebody's going to do something to me for not going along and overtly stating that an absurd and scientifically impossible number of Jews were killed by in a concentration camp. And what I will say is, I don't believe 1 million Jews were killed in German concentration camps. I believe maybe 30,000 people were killed by a disease in concentration camps. And I also know that Germans, in the numbers of hundreds of thousands, German Jews served in the so-called Nazi army. Now, do you disagree with any of those facts that I'm telling you?
No, I've seen the videos of that stuff, of people breaking down the numbers and how that would be an impossibility. And also, in regards to the 6 million number, I've seen a bunch of that 6 million number came out a whole bunch even before the World War II. And also Auschwitz, didn't they changed their number from like 4 million down to 1 million, and that had no effect. And it's almost like a power move that they try to pull. Like, you better say 6 million if you even dispute that. You're the worst person in the world, and you love Hitler and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm with you. And the fact that they throw people in jail, or they want to make it illegal to question this, or that just recently we were seeing articles in Newsweek and mainstream media saying, only a third of America believes in the Holocaust. Like, we need to have mandatory tax dollar education, and we need to build even more museums, even though there's one in like every state and all over the world. And Hollywood and Jewish controlled Hollywood have to make some more movies on it to help everybody remember. Never forget. Only the one Holocaust and the one people, even though people have been slaughtering each other and plundering and doing all types of stuff and genocide throughout human history.
That's right.
And I'll tell you another thing. Look, Adam, you said earlier that you don't want people to think that that you're hate-filled and racist. See, everybody doesn't want people to think something else about them. But you see, with the militia, and especially Chris, and as long as he's been involved with this, that has happened to him regardless. For instance, when he ran for sheriff, they didn't tell you until afterwards that he was going to use the sheriff's department to fold it over into the militia and actually start leveraging to bring these criminals to justice in the most lawful manner that you can. So again, we can't worry about what
Exactly.
the rest of these unlawful criminals are thinking about us, because they're, again, like you say, Chris, their opinion it doesn't matter, because it's got no basis in what's really going on.
It's got no basis.
I'll give you for instance.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Adam.
Arguing over that.
Yeah.
Even though in my videos I act like a gentleman and I don't say anything hateful, that's the main criticism I get. Basically, the only critical comments I get are people just calling me Jew hater or Nazi or what, they always. So I don't want to give them any real reasons to actually quote me or take a soundbite of something.
What are they going to do? What difference will it make? I mean, again, what soundbite is anybody going to...
Play it for people to, they'll play that video and they'll share that quote to people who aren't as awake as you and me, and they're on the fence on certain issues, and they'll go, look, it's just a neo-Nazi. You know, a lot of people are skeptical of this new Patrick Little guy. Some people are skeptical of you. They say, oh, you're too, you know, not just you, you know, the neo-Nazis, the white supremacists, like the cancer guy, you know, that had the thing on mice. People think that there's people out there, and you agree, there's probably ADL-funded people out there that to make us look bad.
Well, let me tell you something. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to Patrick Little. I mean, that guy is a real... I mean, I can't stand that guy. That guy is a degenerate.
He came out of nowhere. And he's also a military veteran. Where was he with Ken O'Keefe? Why haven't him and Ken O'Keefe linked up? Why isn't there some sort of mess where some legitimate veterans for 9/11 truth? Oh, because they all work for the military.
They still work for the military.
But it could just be that he's just woken up in the last few years.
And who is he to run for Senate? He comes off very, very amateurish, like a cop. And who is he to run for Senate? I've never heard of that guy before. Who is he? Who is he to go...
He's an amateur. He basically just said he's running. He did this stunt where he got kicked out of the GOP and had his soapbox speech, and that went a little viral, and then he got all the mainstream media attention.
I mean, I know his came out of nowhere story. I seen it. What I'm saying is, as somebody who has been to state Democratic Party conventions, that's not how it works when they want to run you out of something. I've been run out of a convention, and it doesn't work like that guy got run out of a convention. I got run out of the 2008 Virginia Democratic Convention, and that's the first place that folks threatened to kill me. That was the first overt political threats to be killed, and it was carried out by delegates right in front of a bunch of other people. They took all of the microphones off the convention floor. That's the #1 violation of the convention rules. They had no participation by any of the delegates, and nobody said a thing but me. That's not how a convention works. That's not how somebody gets knocked out of there. That guy doesn't know what he's doing, and he's dangerous. He's definitely a shill, and if he's not, he's just a complete idiot. And speaking of complete idiots, hey, those government agents, those degenerate street criminals, Mark Savatnovic and Nathan Lawrenson. And Nathan Lawrenson, you got me hooked up with those guys, David. I really don't appreciate, all the tricks that these guys pulled on you and me, using you, David. Those guys used you to get to me. I wouldn't know who these guys are that troll my comment section without you bringing them onto the radar screen of me. And I just want to say, Mark and Nathan, you guys are degenerates. I know what you guys are up to. I know what kind of issues you have. And Nathan, I know why you're compromised, dude. You shouldn't have such a big mouth. Stop drinking so much. Guys, you get drunk and you start talking to people when you shouldn't. I know how you're compromised. You start typing things that you shouldn't, and you start putting out things that are real crazy, like telling me that I better keep your name out of my mouth, Nathan Lawrenson. Are you out of your mind, dude? Are you crazy? Are you crazy, Nathan Lawrenson? And Mark Savitnik. Whatever, I don't even know how to... Cvitanovic. Are you guys crazy? That's the only thing I'm going to say. And after that, I'm going to erase everything that you wrote. And I'm just going to say, You guys are crazy. Crazy. You guys do not value the things that you should value. You're crazy. You're compromised. I know how you're compromised. And you're all right in the middle of all this. So, David, that's the last time we're going to say anything. Hey, come to New Orleans? Hey, wait. Nathan, whoa. Nathan responds, come to New Orleans. New Orleans. Stop drinking, Nathan. Stop drinking. You can't even write this. What city you're in? New Orleans. What's New Orleans?
Look, guys. I made it real clear that all who don't follow behind the only solution are inconsequential government agents and assets. So it's that simple. I mean, come on, reproducing. I mean, again, you're putting the cart way ahead of the horse, and all these tactics, you know, they're not gonna get us anywhere. So again, the only way we will work with anyone is if you follow behind us and do exactly
Nathan.
the law says.
Yeah. Okay. So we're done with those guys. Start removing their stuff like they didn't even exist. Except for, I told you, man, you're somebody who does not care about anything. I think everyone here should work together and mate with the opposite sex because that helps, I think, in the big picture format. Well, no, here's the problem, Mark. It's the fact that individuals like you, have you ever seen the movie Idiocracy? You see, that's what the problem is. Morons and non-Americans. You see, somebody with the last name of Savitnovic, that's not an American name. And Nathan Lawrenson, hey, I'm already standing alone. We're already standing alone. And we don't want criminals, compromised criminals. You guys are still talking. Hey, David, should we really out why Nathan Lawrenson is compromised on the air? Will this shut these guys up? I mean, because we'll do it without saying. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. So Nathan Lawrenson and Mark Savitnovic, you see, according to David, you told me this, correct, right? I'm not going to say the whole thing, but you told me this. What was found on Nathan Lawrence's computer, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay. Repeat that last part, David. You told me this.
Yes.
Okay. So, we just told you, Nathan. You got you're telling people you've got crazy, illegal stuff on your computer. All right. So, anyways,
Yeah, I mean,
let's...
That's just strange. I mean, again, Chris. I mean, where else have we heard that? So, I mean, it's just.
Where else have we heard that?
I don't think that's. Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is as much as they've been after you, you've never, dealt with anything like that personally. So, I mean, it's just, it's just some things just don't add up. I mean, and that's all I got left to say.
David, you've interacted with these guys that we've wasted our time. Listen, David, please. Okay. Okay, David, you dealt with these guys. Do you think anything I've said is incorrect? Yeah, go ahead, Adam. Go ahead, Adam. We're done with these guys.
No, I don't.
You don't just right.
I don't even know who these guys are, and
They host a hold on a second. Let me tell you. They host a terrestrial radio show in New Orleans called the Battle of New Orleans. That's who they are. They are on an AM radio station, and they are plants, self-proclaimed plants of the CIA agent, who they say is a CIA agent that runs the local AM news radio station that forwards Alex Jones' InfoWars. and Jeff Rentz and other stations that are CIA fronts.
Okay.
And Nathan is now responding, I thought we were friends. Nathan is responding, I thought we were friends to David, because everything David said, I mean, I'm not lying about it. It's either David's lying or that you know, Nathan's not denying any of this. But anyways, we're going to segue away from these guys. We've exposed them and why they're compromised. So go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say on the Patrick Little thing, I talked to him for a little bit. He came off as genuine to me. Yes, he definitely is an amateur. He's probably not doing everything right, but really, who are we to say anything if we're not up there putting our necks on the line trying to...
I am. I say I'm the one to say something. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what I say. I'm the one. I'm doing it. That's why I'm doing it.
Okay. Well, how about instead of just writing somebody off who comes up that's new, you have to agree, he is saying a lot of good things. Maybe not completely agree, but just we shouldn't...
That's what a limited hangout does. That's what a limited hangout does. That's what a limited hangout does. Adam. I don't want to get off track too much. That's what a limited hangout does. Obviously,
you guys said that Johnson was a dissident vote because of the Pentagon, but you know it's funny because
and other reasons that we gave, and the other reasons that we gave.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say the Pentagon, you know, because I talk a lot about 9/11 and have a lot of videos about that. And the Pentagon is definitely one of the most divisive issues in the 9/11 truth movement. And you know where a lot of the Pentagon stuff came from with loose change, with Dylan Avery, Jason Burmis, and Alex Jones. And a lot of people nowadays, from what I've seen, Ken Jenkins has a real good video called the Pentagon Puzzle that takes another look at the Pentagon evidence. And honestly, I think it's not beyond reasonable to say that loose change and Jason Burmis and Dylan Avery were pushing out this info, because they didn't put stuff about urban moving systems and all the Zionist fingerprints all over it. They talked about the Pentagon and showed pictures that were disingenuous and omitted information, like witnesses saying a bunch of witnesses.
I'm not talking about Jason Burmis. I'm not talking about loose change. I'm talking about the scientific impossibility that plane hit the Pentagon, and it doesn't just have to do with
So Adam, catch this. Flight 77 is said to have hit the 77-foot Pentagon on the 77th meridian, exactly 77 minutes after takeoff, going 777 feet per second, I believe. So yeah, I mean they let you know.
That sounds like a meme. Have you fact checked it all? That is 100%.
Oh yeah, no. The only issue with that is that the Pentagon recently changed the height from 77 feet to 71 feet for some reason. It has been documented that it used to be 77 feet tall, and that no one knows why it's changed.
I'm not interested in debating every aspect of the Pentagon, but all I want to say is that it's a divisive issue. So if it's divisive, why not? I think it's better to focus on bombs in the buildings.
How about this?
Connections.
How about this? Is there any reason at all? Is there any reason at all why anyone should listen to Ryan Dawson at all? At all? Does he provide anything except for I don't know, rhetoric? I mean, when I heard him calling other people Jew haters, again, Christopher Bolin I've never seen his genealogical records. I don't even know if he's not Jewish himself. I've not seen his DNA. I don't know if he's not Jewish himself, but he's certainly not a Jew hater. So, because he lived on a kibbutz. So, you still haven't explained how we get stuck with that.
He could live on a kibbutz and then not like the way he was treated there and maybe have an extra chip on his shoulder, and that could have led him to his interest into researching 9/11 and the people that were behind it too. I thought that.
Well, then why does he keep going on Jewish TV programs like what's that Sean Stone's program? How does he get on the Jewish Hollywood media then?
You know, he mentioned something about the Stone interview. He said that it was a really last-minute thing in L.A. and that Stone...
There's always an excuse. I don't get any last-minute things in L.A. I mean, again, what we're talking about is the only solution to the problems, and we're pointing out that these guys don't even come close, and that when we do this, we get crazy...
He does a good job at helping people. Hey, Chris, people are just going to go from being in la-la land and totally asleep to agreeing with everything that you're saying, the militia.
Again, it's not me that's saying this. All they have to do... That means... You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And here's how you're right. It means that they don't know anything about the law. They don't know anything about the history of the United States of America. They don't know anything about their ancestors and the problems their ancestors had and the solutions and the remedies to the problems that we face today that are very simple. You're very correct. They don't know anything about the Constitution and the law and the only real solution. And again, this is not me. I'm nothing. I'm a nothing and nobody. I'm a sinner in the eyes of God. I'm a lowly creation of the Creator of all things. And everything that I have, including my information, is given to me by the grace of God. So it's not about me and my information, because it's not my information. I can't take credit for writing the Constitution for the United States. I can't take credit for coming up with the concepts put forward in 2 treatises on government or anything that's written in the Bible. I can't take credit for any of that. But that's the only thing that we're talking about. The only thing. So, I don't know. Sometimes... And hey, we will give out the call-in number, and David, you've put the call-in number out there, haven't you? I've said the call-in number at least once on this show. We'll do it again. 646-668-2151. 646-668-2151. And we got about a little less than a half an hour left to go in the show. It's been a great show. Let's see, Chris, Mark, and I both genuinely like your work. If we paid off, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so, yeah, we got about a half an hour left to go in the show. Hey, should we take Ted Palmer's call? We'll take Ted Palmer's call. Yeah, if he's got any questions for Adam Green here. Hey, I don't know if... Yeah. You're on the line. This is Ted Palmer. He's calling from Germantown, Maryland. So thanks for being with us. Thanks for being with us, Ted. Do you have any questions for Adam Green?
Well, first of all, thank you as always. It's a pleasure listening. I know you're doing an enormous task. You're doing the work of God. I'm sure Adam is too. I've been listening and I've been on the line to listen because I'm getting Facebook on and off and stuff. So that's why I'm here, really. It's a great conversation, a great show, and, as always. So thank you so much. That's why I'm here, just listening.
Okay. Hey, much appreciated, Ted. Hey, thanks for listening, and yeah, that call-in number is 646-668-2151. So yeah, I think we've pretty much covered everything, and it seems like we're still kind of at a loggerhead. See, when we do stuff like okay, this AIPAC is treason that David Dauterive and I have put together for the past 2 years. And a number of people have participated in, whether they've been welcomed by us or whether they're government agents who have tagged along with us. We've had a number of those over the past 2 years. But in any event, this seems like a simple target, correct? AIPAC. So every one of these individuals that we talk about have, and Ryan Dawson was even at one of the same places we were at, but he made sure he didn't cross our path because he knows we would confront him like we do all the other controlled opposition assets. So he hid from us back in 2017, and I don't know if he was there in 2018 or not. But Christopher Bolin and every other one of the, I mean, I'm Facebook friends with just about anyone you can think of that is involved in this sort of activity, and not one of them even acknowledge this. We even post the stuff on their page where I send them private messages, so I know that they don't not see it. You see, that's what I like about you, Adam. You passed the first test, which is you don't pretend you don't see things that are right in front of your face when you're receiving messages. That's the number one thing. 99.9% of the others, they just ignore it, but they can't ignore it. So that's all I have to... What is...
People do the same thing to me.
Right. But what I'm saying is, you haven't gone on international broadcast outlets and organized a concise and clear opposition to AIPAC for the past 2 years. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like they're ignoring, that they don't want to go on your show.
No,
Go ahead,
I
Adam.
see what you're saying, yeah.
So,
People in the, for lack of a better word, movement aren't being more supportive and coming together to actually get anything done. Is that
right.
kind of what
No,
you're saying?
that's kind of what I'm saying, but I'll say exactly what I'm saying. It's not that they're not being supportive, it's that they have a different agenda, and that they would never give their support because we're not on the same side. They are pretending to be on this side. They're taking this information, and much I won't dispute of it, but that is only about 40% of the way. It's like coming across some information like saying like, oh wow, there's the floor in Walmart says use caution, floor wet, and that the response is to run full speed and completely knock over the sign and then fall and break your leg and then say, wait a second, this isn't working. It's disregarding the signs. It's saying like, oh yes, we have all these problems. Because a lot of folks, they're not empowered by this message. They're overwhelmed by it. So they say, oh, the Jews control everything, and all this is a big operation, and all the countries are on the same side, and Israel carried out 9/11. And what? If you're just left hanging with all that information, everybody, of course, is going to clam up and do nothing except for, gather in the fetal position and pretend like, what? There's nothing that can be done? When we say this is simple, and we're not advocating the amateurs out there go out and get guns and surround the police. What we're saying, and surround the Federal Reserve Bank, or surround government officials at meetings with guns and a camera and confront them on their crimes in real time. I'm not suggesting that anybody do that. What I'm saying is we've already done that. We've done everything. Are these guys saying like the government's got to turn over their weapons? Are they walking up to the police that are allegedly harassing them so that they have to leave the country and go meet with German intelligence and have a little European vacation? Are they going back to those criminals in Illinois? Is Chris Bolin going back to those criminals who allegedly arrested him and harassed and stalked him in his house? Is he going back to them and filming them and confronting them on their crime, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. You're not the, you know, I've had plenty of associates of Christopher Bolin get in contact with me, and I don't want to get stuck on just this one guy. I just want to say all of them, Ken O'Keefe, all of them, shills, do nothing, and deviate. And they can still go a lot farther towards what we're saying and still deviate at all the key points.
I see what you're saying, and I hear you, and I understand the frustration. But
No, this is not frustration. I'm just stating facts. I'm not frustrated by the facts. I'm just stating what's going on. There's no frustration on my end. And just one last comment to Nathan Lawrence. You don't have... You're
not frustrated that the Zionists have control of the presidency in Congress, and we haven't been able to take...
I'm more angry about it.
Because enough people aren't interested in the militia or even 9/11 truth or even any of it, really. They care about fantasy football and television.
Certainly. We go... I mean, that
frustrates me. Frustrates the hell out of me.
Well, here's why I would say it less frustrates me and more angers me. Because frustration comes from lack of action. Anger drives action. So if you're frustrated by something, a frustration is more of a... It's kind of more, in my opinion, of a not helpful emotion. So I try not to be frustrated about things and more just take direct action, you know, on the things that may make me angry. But again, I mean, I don't want to get into, like, you know, minutia and nitpicking on words, but frustration to me, I don't consider myself frustrated by this. I'm more angry about it.
I like your perspective on the words frustration and anger. I agree with you. It is better to be angry than frustrated, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned the Bible. You mentioned the Bible earlier. I just got to share. You know, I've been talking. We spoke about it in our last interview, and I've been talking and doing a lot of videos on this. The third temple and the prophecy that the Christian Zionists, who I learned today that Hagee's super PAC is actually bigger than AIPAC. So the Christian Zionists all throughout the Bible Belt are the ones that are raising money for new settlements and all that kind of stuff.
Right, but who's giving them money? Who's giving them money? People like Sheldon Adelson and all the billionaires. I mean, they know they know that that's their first cover. Come on, I mean that's you know, that's pretty much 101. And when I talk about 101, that's the binary code. That's the simulation behind how we're speaking to everyone. But this is also 101 in this elementary, because of course, who's financing these guys like Hagee? It's not Christian Zionist billionaires. It's bloodline Ashkenazi, for the most part, Jews and other Jews,
right, yeah.
Ethnic Jews. And when I talk about,
I don't know exactly who funds him, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I've heard that the Schofield Bible, Schofield was funded through European Jews. But the point I wanted to say was that it really seems like it's coming to a crescendo. I've been predicting they're going to blow up the dome. And just in the news yesterday, you saw the photo that was presented to the ambassador to Israel had the third temple on it and the Dome of the Rock removed. That was a scandal. And also I got a video up on my channel, No More News. It's called The Embassy Move is a Huge Step Towards Rebuilding the Temple. There's a guy, he is the International Committee for Har Hazem in Tal Schneider. And he admits it, that he shows the coin with Trump and Cyrus and the temple on the other side, and he says, yes, the embassy is a major step towards rebuilding the temple. This is what they want. They're going to take over with high technology and rule the world. They claim that they've got the smartest IQs, and the whole New World Order plan with the mark of the beast to buy and sell is going to be their new cryptocurrency they're in control of. And it's going to be, they want to have a standing army for the world. You've seen what Ben Gurion wrote in his prediction, his interview in 1960s. In the seat of mankind, the Supreme Court of mankind, they're going to try to push the one world religion. All the New World Order you know, that so many people have been co-opted into and learning about it from Alex Jones, but it's really just Jewish, Christian, Judea prophecies that they're trying to get this to happen.
Yeah, but it doesn't have anything to do with Christianity, because you know this is also what I know about the Bible and the fact that it's the truth, and it is the basis of all of our cultural norms. And when I say our, I mean those who stand against this criminal government, who the hero of the book, the representation, what we all aspire to but can never reach. The Messiah, the Jesus Christ, the Son of God, what we can't reach, which is also represented by Horus and other figures, you know, up until that point of Christianity. But in this particular book, the Bible, the New Testament, who are the adversary? Who is the devil? Who are the bad guys?
Right?
What's that?
The Pharisees?
It goes, they say more than just the Pharisees. They say the Jews. The Jews. The word the Jews.
Yeah.
Right. So...
Yeah, I've been thinking about that recently. Jesus is like the most influential and most widely known person throughout human history. And what is he most known for, essentially? And that's being persecuted by the Jews and fighting against the Jews, flipping the money table, saying they're the synagogue of Satan, all that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, and while we're talking about religion, I just, something came to mind. In the comments, somebody was saying, you mentioned that our founding fathers in our country and the Constitution is all like Christian documents, and they were all Christians.
Yeah.
But I've heard stuff about that they were into the occult and they had hidden faiths. They were deists. Jefferson wrote a book that was the Bible without all the what he thought were the myths.
Yeah, the Jefferson Bible. Yeah.
Benjamin Franklin was in the Hellfire. Go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. Jefferson Bible, the Hellfire Club. Yeah, I know. Benjamin Franklin didn't write the Constitution, and I will say this: the basis of the Bill of Rights is the Virginia Declaration of Rights, and I like to read from that. But there's a particular part where I get this from, and the most part I get this from is all you have to do is look up the words John Locke, 2 treatises on government, and Constitution for the United States, or the influence of John Locke, 2 treatises on government, and the Constitution for the United States. So John Locke's writings and the English common law, or the interpretation of that day, meaning the 17th and 18th century in England and colonial America and other places, John Locke's writings, 2 treatises on government, are the English common law and the basis of the Bill of Rights and, in addition, Constitution for the United States. In addition. So that's what I'll say about that. And John Locke's writings about where all human beings get their authority and the authority to govern is from the King James Bible. Are you familiar with any of that?
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm looking at it now, and I look forward to reading all this. I see the content here: state of nature, state of war, slavery, property. Would it be? Do you cover a lot of this in your book as well, the Militia Handbook?
We mentioned John Locke, but we don't cover a whole lot of it. But the concepts are absolutely the same. It's the concept behind everything that we do and write. It's the concept behind the rules that we were told that we have to live by. And the only rules I'll accept. So let's go to Virginia Constitution and where it overtly says that this is, that we have to act in a quote-unquote Christian manner, which to me means to wage war against the enemies of Jesus Christ, which are not the Muslims, but the Jews. Whereas religion, or the duty which we owe to our Creator, and the manner of discharging it can be directed only by reason and conviction, not by force or violence, and therefore all men are equally entitled to the free exercise of religion according to the dictates of conscience, and that it is the mutual duty of all to practice Christian forbearance, love, and charity toward each other. Christian forbearance. It is the mutual duty of all to practice Christian forbearance. Okay.
Okay, cool. Well, that's a good answer to my question, because so basically, some of the founding fathers, they all didn't agree on the same things, but the Constitution and the Virginia Bill of Rights, that was based clearly, Locke said that was Bible.
Right. I mean, that's my belief. I've never seen anybody. I've read 2 treatises on government. I listened to the audio over and over again. I haven't listened to it in several months, but I've listened to the entire audio of that book, I don't know, 20, 25 times. It's voluminous. So it's going to take that much to even start scratching the surface of getting into a genius that's far beyond my knowledge. So again, I don't want to take credit for any of this stuff, because that would be presumptuous of me. I would be, fighting way above my weight. And all I'm saying is, I'm not so smart, but I'm just not so stupid.
I like that thing. Chris,
Yeah, David, go ahead.
So we only got a little bit of time left. I'll already go and tell you, we got a caller on the line, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Nathan. You want to put him on the line? It's going to be interesting.
Yes, I don't know. Adam, what do you think, man? This guy's, like, I told you who this guy is.
The guy that you were talking about?
I told you who this guy was earlier, and, hold on a second. I'm really having issues with this charger here. But, let me get this charger straight, and then, there we go. And I'll put this right by the, oh shit, it stopped charging again.
everybody go subscribe to No More News, also Militia Intelligence Report.
Number 2.
Down, ADL.
Yeah, that's Militia Intelligence Report number 2. Militia Intelligence Report number 1, that'll just take you to a blank site that's already been taken down. But, and actually, we're not going to spend all that much time with this guy, but I am gonna give him an opportunity, and I'm not lying. This chart. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna unmute this guy. All right. Hey, we got this guy Nathan Lawrenson on the line. I'm gonna give him a short leash, and basically I verified and have been jerked around by this guy a number of times, and he is an obvious shill. And I'm gonna let him respond. Go ahead.
I've never jerked you around.
Yeah, you jerk me around every single time I've dealt with you. Yes, you have. Go ahead. Don't tell me to listen. Go ahead and say what you're going to say, man. Say what you're going to say.
I respected you, okay?
I don't care. I don't respect you. Go ahead and say what you're going to say. I don't respect you.
I understand. I spent $30,000 of my own money, okay?
Yeah,
to be on the radio.
that's what you say. That's what you say. I've seen you in action. You're a government agent.
To run for mayor. For 3 years, I called the mayor of New Orleans a New World Order whore, okay?
That's what you're paid to do. I know. You're one too.
I am not a government shill.
I know. Yeah. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Okay, so that's all you have to say.
You just want to laugh, but you
I'm not laughing.
we're eating our own
Other people are laughing.
While the Jew sticks together, we eat ourselves.
No, I have no proof that you're not a Jew. Here's my genealogy. I'll read it. I'll read it all out. You can see it on the screen right now. Who says that you're not a Jew?
What I said was, while the Jew, what I'm meaning is, we're eating ourselves.
You work for the Jews.
While the Jews standing together.
You work for the Jews. All right, Nathan. Hey, that wasn't. You didn't do a very good job. You didn't do a very good job. Thanks a lot.
I work for myself. See, you come with no facts. You come with no facts and some half truths.
No, not no facts. 100% facts. You're a complete shill. You're a complete shill. You're in the construction industry, which is corrupt as crap. It's so corrupt, and you pay you.
That said you were a shill. You know how many times? Oh, it's Chris Dorsey. I said no, man. That dude's legit.
All right. So that's it for that guy. Again, he has more respect for me than I have for him. So, allegedly, he doesn't have any respect for anything. But in any event, I'm glad we didn't waste too much time for that, and we got that out of the way. That's what he responded to everything he said. Everything we said, that's how he responded. But anyway, that's fine. Cliff, I want to get to you real quick. Final thoughts, and then Adam Green, final thoughts. Say whatever you want.
I mean, as always, we come here to muster the militia because this government needs to be abolished. It's our right as the people and our duty as moral human beings to abolish this criminal government.
Amen. Amen to that. Amen to that. Adam, we've got, let's see, about 2.5 minutes to go here.
I won't need that.
Yeah, go for it. The floor is yours.
Thanks for having me on the chat, and thanks for coming and doing my show. Everybody check out No More News, KNOW, More News. I got a bunch of videos exposing Alex Jones. I recently did one on Laura Loomer and Mike Cernovich. I'm covering this biblical prophecy, New World Order agenda. A lot recently. I've done some 9/11 on the street videos, street interviews. I hope to be doing some confrontations like you do, Chris.
Well,
I need to watch some more of your stuff and pick up some tips.
well, just real quick, so we can maybe have a little back and forth about this. You see, you got to know who everybody is. You got to know who your local politicians are. You got to know who your police chief is. You got to know who your deputy police chief is. You got to know all these individuals and then catch them in crimes and then go up to them. And unfortunately in California, again, nothing means any of this. Nothing means anything unless one is armed. So when I'm talking about these sort of things, I'm always armed. When I'm engaged in this activity, I'm armed. We're armed. Because without being armed, all of this talk is empty. It's empty. Rule by the gun. That's the way everything works, and that's why we talk about the weapons of war and the currency to pay for it. So, absolutely, a great pleasure to have Adam Green on the show. No More News. No with a K. KNOWMORENEWS. No More News. Check out my interview and others. And compare my interview with those that we verify and call out as shills. And I say one last thing. I don't like to mess around with the errand boys for grocery store clerks, but I'm willing to debate anybody at any time on any subject. And that's all I have to say. It's time to abolish this criminal government.
Me too.
Absolutely. And Adam.
Me too. I'm with you.
Okay. And Adam, it was you showed courage in coming on here, and you're all right in my book. So not that again means anything. I'm just a common man like everyone else. But what we will say to end the show is...
No, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Thanks again. Thanks for having your trust in me. And you're right. We have to see a lot more debate amongst ourselves. We don't see enough debate, enough logical, reasonable debate like gentlemen.
Everybody has to answer for themselves. Everybody has to answer for themselves and what they put out there. And we can do that through debate or interrogation. So, which is a form of debate. So, we're signing off. We'll be back next week. This was a good show. I'm happy that that we had Adam Green on, and I'm happy that we got everything out in the open and there's no more confusion, even though we've been covering this same stuff for years now. So this is Chris Dorsey of the Virginia Militia. Well, no, let's go. Oh yeah, we're gonna sign off now. We're ending the show now. Join us next week, same time, same place. Chris Dorsey of the Virginia Militia. Peace and God bless.